here on planet Kai. Sunday, October 6th, 2024. My baby's Cheeks and Dootie, both young kings, both young gods. And I know they always walk with us. But again, this is sacred ground. The sacred ground here. Not the final destination, as we know. The body is here, but the soul is all over, everywhere, when they want to be. And I pray that they're learning as much as they can in the next dimension, living out their purpose in the next dimension. My Dootie was 12 when he passed away, my little cousin. And Cheeks was 31. So I brought them some roses. It's a windy day, I'm sure you can hear it. But it's beautiful, sunny. By this nice big tree. Death is rebirth. But as long as we're here in this dimension, we're gonna miss them so much. Our families. And Cheeks, so far, is the only man that knew, like, right away he wanted to be with me. Right away. He just said some beautiful and amazing things, and I'm not even gonna share those. But at the time when I met him, I was so broken from a relationship that I had just gotten out of. So broken. And when I told him, he said, I would have waited for you. Cheeks has such a wonderful spirit and heart. He did. Such an amazing human being. And I really wish he would have been able to still be here and fulfill his purpose here. But, you know, then you think, well, did he fulfill his purpose? And people say, oh, God needed him on the other side. And that may be true. However, I still feel like he had more to do here. But who am I? Who am I to say that? But I feel that. I feel like it just wasn't his time. You know, he had a few things that we discussed that he wanted to do. And he was an amazing artist, amazing rapper, amazing athlete. Loved the kids loved him. Man, I just, I miss him so much. I do, I miss him so much. And didn't have a chance to speak to him before he transitioned. And he was trying to reach out, and it was on Facebook though. And I didn't see those until after he passed. One I did see. One I did see, and then I reached out, and then he missed the call, and then he reached out again, and I missed the call. And actually, at the time of his passing, I had been off Facebook for a month. So, I'm like talking to him in spirit. I talk to him all the time. I'm like, why didn't you reach out to one of the cousins that had my number? I don't know. You know, his dad said, it's a reason why you guys didn't talk. Maybe you would have been taking it even harder, but I took it very hard. Very, very hard. I mean, I cried every day for a year. And, I don't cry as much, but I do. You know, he was my soulmate, and I call him, he was my soulmate and my twin flame. And I call him Soul Flame. That's my soul flame. My soul flame. And I know what he said was real because no other man has done that. No other man has said what he said. No one else. No one else. That's how real it was. That's how genuine he was. And I was too broken to see it. Too broken. But I said, never again. Never again. Never again. But as they say, the cliche, everything happens for a reason. Oh, you know what? I did have it checked. Thank you for your concern. I did have it checked. And by an amazing, actually, surgeon in Brooklyn, New York. And there's nothing wrong. I had the biopsy and everything. It's nothing wrong. So I don't know what it is. Something I have to deal with. But I noticed that when I'm really cleansing, doing my herbs and detoxing, then it shrinks. So, but yeah, I've had it checked. I get regular checkups, and nothing wrong. So I don't know. It's just one of those things. I didn't always have it, so I don't know when it happened. I think maybe in my 30s. But thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. It's lovely when, you know what, and some people will approach me and say something, and it's nice. I don't get offended. I don't get embarrassed anymore because I did what I had to do. Yeah. And the only other person I've actually seen, one of my dear, dear friends has the same thing, but I never brought it up to her because I just didn't want to. Yeah. It's nice. It's beautiful when people you don't know are concerned. I mean, I don't know. I see eclipse, but maybe we do know each other. I don't know, but I appreciate your concern because not too many people are genuinely concerned. And sometimes people point out your flaws to make you feel bad or to, I don't know, sometimes people don't always have good intentions, but I appreciate it. Yeah, so let me get on my duty. My duty. Terrence Hall Jr. was 12 when he passed away. Excuse me, I have to wipe my nose. He was 12 when he passed away last year. And as soon as his grandmother, which is my first cousin, my dad's niece, one of his nieces, as soon as she called me, I was in Houston at the time. As soon as she called me, as soon as I got off work, I mean, I let my supervisor know what was going on. And I drove 14 hours right after work, because what I wanted to do was touch him, see him before he left. And he was at the hospital. And I made it. And he was here, but he wasn't. You know, I hope he knows that I came for him. I was talking to him, touching him, rubbing him, praying for him. And honestly, before I even left Houston, I was like talking to my ancestors. I'm like, please don't let him come. Please don't let him come. We need him over here. But you know what? Our babies, they're so innocent. And I feel like when kids pass early, you know, when they're already experiencing, well, when their soul is almost on the other side, um, I feel like they see that light, they see that warmth, they see that peace, the colors, the beauty. You know, it's just they have a choice to stay or go. It's probably a lot of us do. I don't know. But yeah, I was begging and pleading with the Most High, with my ancestors. And you know what? I just wanted to make it. I just wanted to make it here to Omaha, Nebraska before he actually transitioned, and I did. And I only stayed a couple days, but I watched the funeral online, and for him to be 12 years old, and I was listening to everyone who was speaking, and he touched so many lives in his 12 years. He did a lot in his 12 years. That's what I realized. He did a lot in his 12 years. And maybe that's just how it was supposed to end for him in this life. We don't want to say that. We don't want to believe that. We don't want our loved ones to suffer. We don't want our loved ones to leave us too young, too soon. I had to think though. I'm like, it was just beautiful. Everything that people were saying, and I'm like, oh my God. And I already knew he was an amazing kid. But me being gone and, in other state, most of his life I was in New York, but I would come and visit the family, and he would always give his big cousin a hug. He was always so happy to see me. He was amazing young king. And he was great, but he would have done some amazing things, even more amazing things, if he had still been here. I know that. He was an athlete, just like Cheeks. Wrestling, football, and he was a rapper. I didn't find that out until after he passed. And I made him and Cheeks, I made some paintings in their honor. And that was my therapy. And that's when I started the painting. I said, I got to really tap into that part of my creative side. Got to really tap into that part of my creative side. And yeah, it just felt so good to do that for them. And I gifted those art pieces one to Cheek's mom, and the other one to Dootie's grandmother, my cousin, my first cousin. Yeah. But I love and miss them so much. And I know, I didn't realize it in what, 2020, 2021, 2020. I didn't realize it in 2020. Cheeks came to visit me in Brooklyn, New York. And we were in my kitchen. And he looked up at me and he was so serious. And he said, I'm going to always have your back, right? So I'm going to always have your back. And then, I'm like, okay, thank you. But now I understand that so much more. Because now I understand that he meant that even when he was gone. Even when he was gone. He was going to always have my back. And he does. And I know. I feel him. Just so many things that happen. I know all my ancestors have my back, but, they know with him, Newly on the other side, and Dootie and my mother. I know Dootie's looking out for his family, his siblings and his mom and dad, grandma, his nana. And I hope that he's looking out for big cousin too. I do hope so. I feel that. I do. I'm very intuitive. I'm very connected spiritually. So I know. I have an army holding me down from my greats on down. Yeah. But today is my day to visit with my loved ones. I talk to them all the time though. And after I leave here, and to see my paternal grandparents are on the other side of this hill. And hopefully today I'll be able to find them, because the last time I came, they were covered and neither myself or my cousin could find them. And I called and spoke to somebody at the cemetery. I left a message because I'm one for, let me tell you something. I am in full effect when it comes to my throat chakra. I'm speaking my mind. I'm going to speak up always. But I called and spoke. I called the cemetery back the next day. And the lady told me they only have one person. I see a few people today maintaining these sacred grounds. And she told me it was one person. So I said, well, that's not acceptable. That's not acceptable. The grounds need to be maintained all the time. There's no reason why we should not be able to find our loved one's headstone. There's no reason to find. There's no reason that we should not be able to find our loved ones. So, when I leave here from Cheeks and Dootie, I hope that when I go over there, I will be able to see my grandparents' headstone so that I can leave them flowers, because I couldn't leave them flowers last time. So peaceful. So peaceful. Anyway, have a beautiful day. And don't forget to always honor your ancestors. Talk to them. If you have an ancestral altar, leave them food and drink. Their favorite food, their favorite drink. Candy, if that's what they love, But never forget your ancestors. Always honor them. Always speak to them, because they are on the other side, working with the Most High to make sure you're good. Yeah, definitely believe that they're always with us. So we must honor them. Never forget them. Like I said, I talk to them all the time. All the time. All the time. So anyway, have a beautiful day. I'm gonna make my way to see if I can find my paternal grandparents, leave them flowers, and then last stop is to my mom. My mom has her headstone. I got a text the other day, and initially in May, they said it would take close to a year, maybe. So the other day, this week, I got an email with a picture of her headstone, and they put it down. I wasn't happy to see it, but I'm glad that it came early so she could have her name at her head. Yeah, so anyway, I will never be the same. The woman who birthed me is gone from this plane. And it was sudden. I mean, it wasn't sudden, but it was. You know, we weren't ready for that. And who is, I mean, some people are. Some people are. But the illness, the stage 4 ovarian cancer, that was something that just, we didn't see that coming. And I spoke on it before, and I'm going to let it go after this. But, you know, she wasn't receiving the proper care from a doctor that she had for 15 years. So I have filed complaints and just waiting to see what the outcome is going to be. I filed complaints against not only her primary care doctor, but emergency doctors, emergency room doctors. So fight for your loved ones. That's important. And stay on top of them to make sure they're getting their appointments and regular checkups and screenings. That's important. You know, because I definitely, if she had been receiving the proper care, I know for a fact that is something that could have been caught early. But here we are. And this is what I have to work through, heal from. I don't think I'll ever really heal from it. You know, when you're close to your parent, your mother, your guardian, grandparent, whoever raised you, it's just not the same, you know. Not the same. My mother, it's not the same. And I'll never be the same. But I'm still going, still growing, still healing. Healing is constant. Growing is constant. Until we are no longer breathing, it's constant. And I'm thankful and blessed to have been raised by such a strong woman. Strong, amazing woman. She raised me by herself. And she did that without her mother. So, you know, I always thought that was amazing and phenomenal within itself. But after my mom transitioned, and my mother was 25 when she lost her mother, and she still kept going. I remember her crying, though, as a child. I remember comforting her. But she kept going. She had me to take care of. She always worked hard, always provided. I didn't always have what I wanted, but she made sure I had clothes and food and shelter. So I was great. It's a blessing. Anyway, much love. Sending you all love. If you're going through something, you're going through some pain, some frustration, some trials, some obstacles, which we're always going to go through in life, right? Because that's the human experience. But just always tap in to your spiritual side, however that may look for you. But just have that connection, have that spiritual connection. It's important. That's what keeps me grounded. That's what keeps me strong. That's what keeps me going. As long as I'm here, that's what I'm gonna do. And I encourage you to do the same. Ashe, peace and love and light. And we need that darkness too. Duality. Have a blessed Sunday and a beautiful week.